who's to say that it has to be nice, tidy little coils? If I take a big chunk of clay like this, let's go ahead and get another piece of chunk of clay. Now, in the first videos I said, don't do this because it'll come apart, right? It sort of sticks. As long as you combine them, all right? Now this has a possibility of trapping air, okay? So maybe be very thorough in the way you combine it. Now I made these two pieces into one. And I will tell you, that this is a method used to make really large sculptures. It's actually kind of my primary method. It looks a little sloppy. It's not very tight and neat. This process is a lot slower, methodical. But if you're starting to feel comfortable with it and you know that you can achieve proper thickness, that you won't trap air, and that ultimately the piece will be hollowed out, then in a sense, who cares how you came to the form that you want, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and smash these. Now, of course, if you're working on a large project and you leave this for a day or two, it will start to get a little bit stiff, right? And in essence, I'm making large slabs. That's when you need to start scoring and slipping again. Once your clay starts to get a little bit stiff and it doesn't blend in very well, a little bit of slip and a little bit of scoring is going to go a long way, okay? And then you can even take something like that, right? See, let's just pretend this did get a little bit thick. Score it. Make sure you get a little slip in there. Dun, dun, dun. As long as you don't get any air or don't get too thick, don't get trapped air, then you are okay. So, and then at this point, since it's nice and thin, I can start manipulating this. All right, start putting it into some kind of form. What's this? And the reason why I'm kind of being messy about this is because I am still emphasizing the hand building techniques part. It almost doesn't matter how you connect the piece, whether it's fresh into fresh or score and slip. All that really matters is that you're able to get the pieces the way you want them. Okay, so there, I'm not really sure what that's going to be. All right. Either way, in that short bit of time, okay, I've used some coil, I've used a slab, I combined two pieces of clay together, just using wet into wet, okay, and then let's say like maybe in a day or two, I'm going to connect them somehow. Probably a good idea to let these sit for a bit, maybe even loosely cover it for a few hours, and maybe even overnight, because if I want to join this piece onto this piece, then a little scoring and slip might be a good idea. Let's go ahead and do that. Ooh. This looks a little like a nifty headdress. This could be face of somebody. All right. So let's go ahead and have a little fun with this. You know, maybe this is the top of somebody. Yeah, let's do this. Okay. So here's another option. Now I have two vessels, all right? Two vessels, and it doesn't really matter how I made it. I can actually combine them together, Okay? Now at this stage it's still quite fresh and I can wait a little bit, but it starts to get heavy. There it is. Nope. Wow, everything's in backwards. This might get too heavy and the clay will slump. So my recommendation is, if you plan on doing something where you're combining multiple vessels together, I would suggest letting these harden up a bit. Okay? Once you let them harden up a bit, then you're able to score and slip and put them together. Okay? Point being is that you're taking multiple vessels, right, combining them together to create a larger vessel. Okay? Have a little fun with that. Start to plan it out. And again, as long as when you're putting pieces together, when you're working with coils and putting pieces of clay together, I'm going to recommend that you have multiple points of connection. Clay is not good at having a piece stick out like this. Okay? It just doesn't really work. It's something that it will break. So when you're thinking about your piece, think about how it intertwines with itself. Think about having it have multiple points of connection. Okay? Now this, when it dries up, it'll fall apart. So if this is really what I want, okay, then you will need to score and slip and attach these pieces. Okay? But hand building can be lots of fun. Okay? And don't be afraid to combine your techniques. So I think we're ready to start hand building a sculpture.